Guys, there are spoilers for this film and this review. So if you don't want to lose the power of Grayskull, go watch film, then come back. You have been warned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ronan Time HD. So yeah, this is going to be a great time.
Hey guys, and welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ronan Time HD, and this week we watched the new Masters of the Universe film starring Nicholas Galitzine. I'm very sorry. This is a action-adventure film with light comedic elements, and I will say, it honestly surprised me. I thought it was really fun, really enjoyable, just a grand old time, and it just flew by. I had a really, really great time, but before we go on a whole tangent, why I enjoyed this film, I'll tell you why and more. Back at the house.
Have the power, but you're too scared to use it.
Trust me, I know how to use it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I am your host, Ronan Time HD, and this week we watched Masters of the Universe, the new Masters of the Universe, that is. Directed by Travis Knight, starring Nicholas Galitzine, as well as Camila, Mendes, Idris, Elba, Kristen Wiig, Alison Brie, Marina Baccarin, and a cameo appearance of Dolph Lundgren, who played He-Man in the original 1987 Masters of the Universe. I think I got all the names. Regardless, this film is a fantasy action adventure film, and I will say, I think that this film was a really, really good time. I think it was really fun. I think it was really charming, and I overall think it just really flew by because I think it was just really, really enjoyable. And I think it was enjoyable because it didn't really take itself too seriously, and that I can appreciate, right? Because this is Masters of the Universe, right? Like, pretty much, if you, like, most people, like, when you ask somebody to do a skeleton voice, they do a Skeletor voice, right? Mainly because, well, it's iconic for one, and two, it's goofy as shit, right? Like, you can't really take Skeletor seriously, but you're not really supposed to. It's campy, right? It's supposed to be fun and entertaining. So I think, like, this movie kind of takes that campiness, like the 80s Masters of the Universe campiness, and kind of makes it like modern campiness, right? If that makes sense. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. There are serious moments in there, right? It's not like a full-on comedy or anything, but I do appreciate that this movie kind of tries to replicate what made the original Masters of the Universe entertaining, instead of like making it it's a serious movie. It's a serious movie with a buff skeleton with a magic stick that sounds really, I'm just saying, it's stupid to try to make it like a serious story when it never really was that serious. Everybody knows He-Man. He has the sword. He goes, I have the power, and he beats people up, all right? It's not complicated. So this movie, I think one thing I can appreciate about it is that most of it is on Eternia, right? Barely any of the movies on Earth, because who gives a shit about Earth? You want it to be on the main part that was in the show. That's like, when you think of Masters of the Universe, you think of Eternia. Nobody wants to be on Earth. Earth is a roadblock, and that's what the movie treats it like, and I like that. The audience doesn't want to be there, and He-Man, or Adam in the movie, also doesn't want to be there, right? Which I can appreciate. And one thing I like is that even though this is an origin story, right? Even though this is an origin story, I think, like, it doesn't spend, because very quickly when he gets to Eternia, he becomes He-Man. Like, he gets the whole garb, he gets it all, and he has it on for a majority of the movie, right? It doesn't, like, he doesn't just get, like, he doesn't just have the power in the last, 10 minutes, like, a usual movie like this would do. He's actually He-Man for a decent amount of time, right? Which I can very much appreciate, because when I watch the He-Man movie, I want to see He-Man doing He-Man things, beating up bad guys, using a magical sword, right? I don't need to watch him bumbling around being a stupid human, which that he is, right? But, like, the movie has him go through an arc where he learns to be a man, a he-man, right? He learns to do that. I like that, and I like how there's a decent amount of action, right? I like the banter between the main characters. I think that it is a fun dynamic between the main group of 4 characters. I like I like the focus on Skeletor and his lackeys. I like how Trapjaw is the most focused on lackey of Skeletor's. He gets like 3 one-on-one fights. That's pretty good, right? He gets the most one-on-one fights out of any of Skeletor's lackeys, which is cool. He is the coolest one, of course. I like how Skeletor isn't like super duper serious. There are moments where he's funny and campy, like the original Skeletor, but there are also moments where he's scary and intimidating as like a believable, threatening villain. I like how I like the fights. I think they're entertaining. I think you can decently see what's going on. I like the stakes, because, obviously, Skeletor's not going to win. But, like, he's just such an evil, conniving bastard. You want to see him get taken down, right? I think, unfortunately, I don't really like to compliment Jared Leto all too much, but his performance was an entertaining performance. One thing I can really appreciate is the animation on Skeletor's face. He was, like, super expressive. For, like, a skeleton, he was very expressive. I mean, like in the show, his bones would, like, morph and contort, like, when he would, like, smile, or, like, when he would be happy or laughing or angry. When he would get punched in the face, he would make, like, a really silly, like, cartoon face. Like, I don't know, I just compliment the animators for making his face as expressive as it is. I guess I liked how the film was very straightforward. You know what I mean? I really liked how it wasn't really that complicated, and the movie knew what it was. It was a fun action-adventure fantasy film. It didn't really try to be anything beyond that. It's a movie where the heroes go on an adventure to, vanquish evil and save their world, right? And sometimes beauty and simplicity, right? Sometimes that's all you need, especially for a movie like this. It's just about He-Man beating the bad guy and saving the day. You know what I mean? And, you can appreciate that, especially if it's done well, and I think it is. I think He-Man is a really easy to root for character. I think Adam he's a likable guy. He tries to reason with Skeletor, right? He tries to, like, talk his way out of it, but Skeletor's just he's such an asshole, I guess. He doesn't have one, but he is an ass. He's an asshole. So he obviously he doesn't agree with it. He's just like, you're a fool to try to talk things out. And he's like, I will beat you. And then they fight. And then he gets his ass kicked. And then as soon as he's about to be, like, defeated by He-Man, he's like, okay, no, wait, now we can talk. Right? And I do like that bit. Either way, I'm just rambling here. But overall, I just thought there was a lot of, like, little details in the film, or just, like, little things that I enjoyed. As I said, I liked the comedy, I liked the banter, I think the film actually looked pretty. I think it looked pretty. I liked the visual effects. I think none of it looked too. I felt like in the trailers it looked a little off, to me at least. But I think, like, as I watched the film as it kept going, I think it looked better in the trailers. It didn't look off-putting or really uncanny like maybe I perceived it would have been in the trailer. And I think Eternia is it's a very beautiful landscape, especially in the dog fight scene where they're flying through this giant forest, and there's, like, really colorful leaves, and it's like, the movie's very colorful, right? And obviously it should be, and I can appreciate that, because I feel like a lot of modern blockbusters, I feel like, just kind of have, like, a weird, muted, like, vibe to them. Like, they feel like they have to be, like, all gray and colorless, and it's like, color is better. I really like colorful movies, because there's something nice to look at. You know what I mean? Obviously, you gotta have a good movie as well, but it's also nice to have colors. Either way, I am rambling here. So maybe I should just put on my overall thoughts. While I do feel like, there is some banter that I really enjoy. I really do like I think Skeletor is a pretty entertaining character. I think Adam overall is a pretty funny and likable character. I do feel like, of course, being a comedic movie, not everything's gonna land, but that's a given, right? Not every joke and like in even a comedy is gonna land. Like some of them just won't be clean for you. But I'm just saying it's not a perfect movie, but I do think it's a very enjoyable movie, and I wish it didn't bomb because I think the She-Ra tease at the very end is cool. Apparently, they are making a sequel, which I will watch, and I wish this movie though did not bomb because it's kind of sad because it's enjoyable. Regardless, in that sense, I would recommend this movie. You know, if you are a fan of Masters of the Universe, if you're just a fan of the He-Man mythos, right, I do think there is a lot to enjoy here. I think, I just think it's a damn fine movie. Even if you're not a fan of He-Man or Masters of the Universe, or you're not really that familiar with it, I think there's still enjoyment to be had, right? They give you enough context to where you can enjoy the scenes and, you know, like the characters. Like, you don't need to know the source material. Obviously, it helps, but you know what I mean. And with that being said, you may ask, what would I rate this film? Well, I think I would rate this film a 7 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I have something to say. I think I've said my piece. So, guys, I hope you like this video. Share it with friends. Subscribe. Turn those notifications on. Comment down below on how much you liked it. But you guys know how it goes. I didn't really mean to say that. What I really meant to say is, if you guys hated this video, unsubscribe, dislike it, tell me, have a chat in the comments. And I've been Runtime HD, off to save Eternia. You know, I'm watching this movie, right? And yeah, unfortunately, Jared Leto is in this movie. But I think it's kind of funny because his performance is actually pretty good, and I'm not distracted by his weird, stupid face, because he has a CGI skeleton over it, so that's a plus. Right, I don't have to look at Jared Leto at this movie, I can just hear him. But this movie still suffered the Jared Leto curse. It bombed, unfortunately. So I guess it doesn't matter if you can't see his face, it's just he's cursed now. It's unfortunate.